Let's be honest. Have you ever looked at your browser and just sighed? You've got this wall of tabs staring back at you. Work stuff, shopping, that weird Wikipedia article, all mashed together. It's a mess. Well, today we're going to look at a guide that shows us a way out of that digital chaos. We're going to break down how you can actually master your browser in 3 pretty simple steps, all based on the manual for a tool called ContextGuard Pro. The source material really doesn't pull any punches. It describes a disorganized browser as something that is, and I quote, leaking data and destroying concentration. Think about that. It's not just messy, it's actively working against you, leaking your data and shattering your focus. So I've got to ask you, does that feel a little too real? Is your browser constantly pulling your attention in a million different directions? Does it feel like it's just adding to your mental workload instead of making things easier? If you're nodding along right now, trust me, you are not alone. And this gets us right to the heart of what the guide calls the digital chaos problem. It's that feeling, dozens of tabs open, all from completely different parts of your life, all screaming for your attention at the same time. Just think about the last time you were really trying to get something done. You probably had a tab for that important work report sitting right next to a tab for your vacation planning, which is next to a YouTube video, which is next to an Amazon page. That isn't multitasking, it's just digital chaos. Your brain is scrambling to switch gears every few seconds. All right, so how do we even begin to tackle this mess? Well, the guide solution starts with a really foundational first step. Let's organize everything with containers. And the goal here, it's actually super simple, but really powerful. It's all about getting instant visual clarity. It's like creating separate, clean rooms for all the different hats you wear online. That way your work self doesn't even have to see what your shopping self is up to. And according to the guide, you're not going to believe how easy it is to get started. You literally just click the extensions icon, and then you pick a context you need, like, say, work strict. That's it. And boom, this is that instant aha moment. The second you click it, a new tab opens up, but it's not just another random tab floating in the chaos. Nope, it's automatically tucked away right under a nice, clear work label. Suddenly, there's order. It just makes sense. Okay, so having things look neat is great, but that's really just scratching the surface. To get true separation, we need to go deeper. And that brings us to step 2, actually protecting your privacy. See, here's the thing you have to remember. Just because your tabs look separate doesn't mean they are separate to the trackers online. For real privacy, you've got to wipe out the browser's, digital memory. We're talking about all those sneaky cookies that let ads for something you looked at for work follow you around when you're trying to shop. And the way you triggered this protection is, once again, ridiculously simple. You just switch contexts. When you're done with your work stuff and you're ready to do a bit of online shopping, you just fire up the shopping strict container. Now, this is where the real magic happens, totally automatically. The moment you switch, behind the scenes, the tool does what the manual calls an active sweep of the container you just left. So what does that actually mean, an active sweep? Well, it means it goes in and hunts down all the tracking cookies from that last session and gets rid of them. In the example from the guide, it found and wiped out exactly 14 of them. That's not just some vague promise of privacy. That's actual, tangible proof that your work life isn't bleeding over into your personal life online. All right, so our digital space is now clean and organized, and it's secure. What's next? Well, now we get smart. Let's move to the final step, keeping your focus sharp with a little help from AI. The whole point of this step is to solve a problem we've all faced. You're in the zone, deep in your work, but you find a link that looks kind of interesting. This feature is designed to let you check if it's actually relevant without totally derailing your train of thought and sending you down a 2-hour rabbit hole. And the process is designed to be completely seamless. So imagine you're in your work container. You find an article, you highlight a sentence or two that catches your eye, you right-click, and you just choose AI Assistant Summarize for Current Context. And check this out, a small notification just pops up with a quick, clean summary. But here's the really brilliant part. The AI didn't just summarize the text, it analyzed it specifically for how relevant it is to your current context, which is work. In seconds, you know if this is a goldmine or just a distraction. So you've got organization, security, and intelligence all working for you. You might be wondering, how on earth does this all work together so smoothly? Let's pull back the curtain for a second and look at the magic behind the scenes. And this table just lays it all out so clearly. That visual organization, the tab grouping, that's powered by a browser technology called Chrome.tab-groups. That powerful security sweep that clears out cookies, that's the Chrome.cookies API doing the heavy lifting. And those smart contextual summaries, that's a prompt API. Each big benefit is powered by a very specific piece of tech. So when you put it all together, you get this really clean, powerful formula that the guide spells out for us. Organization plus security plus intelligence, all of that equals total control. And that leads to the ultimate payoff, the big promise from the source material. By weaving these three things together, you really do transform your browser from being this source of chaos and distraction into a sharp, focused tool that works for you. In their own words, you have regained control of your digital environment. So, the next time you open up your browser and you see that familiar wall of tabs, just take a second and ask yourself a simple question. Is this thing working for me, or is it working against me?